Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera and a very good afternoon to everyone. Thank you, our chairperson, Puan Azida, Registrar for UiTM, Puan Sauda, Puan Alfina, and also our participants for this conference. And to talk at 3:30 during the last day of the conference always is challenging, because I don't think you have the mind, your mind is not here anymore. I know I was at your place many times that thinking about my flight time, thinking about my traffic jam, thinking so many things. But bear with me, I'll be talking about 40 minutes, then we can go and discuss a bit, Q&A regarding this topic. There are two keywords in this topic. One is about how to maximize our teamwork, and also how to create good leaders. So this is something that bringing the two together, by having the good leaders, it doesn't mean that you're going to bring a maximum kind of contribution from your staff if they work together. But if they work together, they have a good teamwork, but if you don't have a good leader, it's not going to happen again. So this kind of a real good combination to have a kind of a good leader and also a good teamwork in any organization. So let me start with what do you mean by organizational excellence. People say that your university is a good university if you are top 100 in the world. Your university will be a good university if you have beautiful campus. But I think if you want to say that your university is a good university or an excellent university, we have to see how does university provide impact to the community and to the world. It's no point that you have a good university, good campus, and then 50% of your students cannot get their jobs. It's no point being the good university, good campus, if the community does not benefit from you. So if you talk about good organization, you have to think about the impact to the local, to the community, and also to the world. Then you can say that this is really good university. And a good university, you must exceed the expectation beyond the needs of your stakeholders. If the stakeholders say that 80% of your students must get a job, you have to go up to 90%. You want to see that your academic contribution of this level, you have to go beyond that. So you're always exceeding the needs of the stakeholders. And also, we're dealing with stakeholders, because our stakeholders, even the students also, they are not our client. Sometimes they be considered as our stakeholders. So if you look at the requirement by the stakeholders now, the parents, the students, the industries, they are looking at whether they're going to get good experience with you or not. If the students come to your place, whether they get good learning experience or not. When the parents deal with you, whether they can get things done within their tolerant level. Some people has only 2 minutes tolerant level, but you need 2 days to clear their problem. They are not going to satisfy with that. So that's why we have this word of, we call it awesome. Ini ayat barulah try to meremajakan ayat awesome customers experience. And a good organization, good university should produce premier graduates. Premier graduates means that your graduate will be chased after a very important industries, big industries, GLC, MNCs, and so on. And besides that, the graduate must earn more than the other graduates. So if you can produce this type of graduates, you are really good organization. So produce graduate that everybody wants your graduate. Use graduate that everybody to pay your graduate higher than the other graduates. Top choice employer reflect that how good is your organization in terms of taking care of your staff. The benefits, the salary, the environment, the facilities, the support system. That means everybody wants to come to you. You say that you advertise 10 positions, you get 10,000. Because everybody wants to come to work with you because they can get some kind of different skill set by having to be with you. So that's why we say that a good organization is that is also a top choice employer organization. And if you talk about excellence, quality, quality, quality. This is, you cannot compromise on the quality. In any area of your duty or your job, quality has to be there. And quality has no full stop. No full stop quality has to be, to be improved continuously. So these are some example of the keys to the organization excellence. I think that's also happening in our universities, our organization. Basically, you must have clear mission, and also the core values. And the style of management also will reflect whether your organization is really meeting kind of the requirements. Strategic management, structure and systems, and also the organization renewal process. This is like the SDG, sustainable, renewable for the organization. Let me start with the core values, because our vision and mission, I think everybody knows. But core values is something that we always take for granted. Not many universities has written in their wall or in their strategic location where you reflect the core value of your organization. Some organizations do have that sort of statement. You're going to the canteen, you can see this is our core value, So you want your staff to respect and to acquire and to behave in line with the core value that the organization try to practice. So if you're talking about a successful organization, the first core value is that everybody must think about the culture of excellence. No second class, no third class, everything must be first class. Whatever you do. So for pentadbir, for the administrators, your culture of excellence inside making the jobs well done, but your stakeholders also must be happy. So this is trying to create a culture of excellence. Number two, in terms of the core value for any organization, is communication. A lot of cases where the problem started because they have a poor communication. Sometimes whatever the top management says, when it comes to the people on the ground, they misinterpreted many things because of poor communication. And also something that you develop has not been disseminated well because you don't have a proper communication channel. So you must have an effective communication, either the system or the channels or the people to be able to transmit information. So banyak masalah kita because the communication always wrong. Sometimes when I visit our campuses, your IT is just a big university, 35 campuses. Whatever I heard in that campus, it's not really that we have discussed as management because it's not been committed well. So you can imagine with 165,000 students, with 18,000 staff, 35 campuses, you can say A, by the time they reach at the bottom, it could be B. So this is a kind of communication. You must have effective communication. Integrity is something that really close to my heart. Integrity is so important. Respect, we need to respect people. Whether you are number one, you are number two, you are number three, we are all the same. Except that our job spec is different. Number one has different job specification. Registrar has different job specification. But as a staff, as an organization, we should be able to respect each other. The value, the core value of respect must be there. And always positive thinking. Kadang-kadang there's problem with it is that we always take things negative. You never try to take advantage of something to transform the negative into positive. So if that value, kalau positif memang positif, ini memanglah throat ni dia ni, tak boleh ni. Oh ini tak boleh, hati kita boleh buat ni. You always think negative. But now we have to think positive. How to do it, how not to do it. And then now Jack Ma mentioned a few things about the love quotient. Beside the IQ, beside the EQ, he also mentioned about the LQ, love quotient. So love here is not love line. Love about people. So you have a loving, caring about people. So this is LQ. In terms of governance structure, looking at the style of management, the most important thing is governance. We believe that if you have a solid, strong governance, the organization can be very strong. The problems of the banyak yang berlaku that we heard of, hilang duit sana, hilang duit sini, I think because they don't have a proper governance. So if you have a good governance, I'm sure you protect your organization, and no way you can beat the system because the governance is well placed. So we must have a good governance. There's a governance, but something that's not good governance. And when we had the governance, we come up with the structure. All kind of lines lah, pejabat pendaftar semua memang tahulah, expert lukis line-line ni. All this line corner, the cepat, the line, all kind of things. This under organization structure. But whenever you do the structure, you must make sure that it support the mission and the priorities of the organization. You create the structure because not individual. It's happened in various organizations before. They purposely put a line to satisfy because I want to put him there. It's not right. The structure, the organization structure must be to support the mission, the vision, and also the priority of the university. Infrastructure to enhance productivity, basically that, in any organization, you must be supported by good infrastructure. I visited many faculties, I received many complaints. The lab is bad shape, something is not really reflect well. But I'm sure because of certain reason why it cannot be done. So there's our strategy now at UiTM try to make sure that the infrastructure is really making impact to the students' learning experience and also the staff working experience. The other infrastructure for the good organization is that digital infrastructure. So nowadays, if the staff and the students, especially the students, when they come to university, during my days, when we come to university, come to the room, kebanyakan cari where's the kiblat. Kita tengok, kiblat kat mana ya? But nowadays, if you look at the students, they come to the college. First thing they ask when they come to the room is that, ada Wi-Fi tak? So this is a kind of the different culture between generation before and the generation. So the digital infrastructure of the university, of the organization is very important. Everywhere now, the students expect some kind of IT support, Wi-Fi. Tak ada Wi-Fi, dia kata, I'm coming to the third world country, So with a massive area of your item, it's really challenging to provide Wi-Fi everywhere. But we try our best. We create hotspots. We bring the Wi-Fi to where the students are around, where the students are lepaking. We bring the Wi-Fi there because lepaking doesn't mean that lepak tak ada apa-apa, just they want to discuss and collaborate. So we need to bring the Wi-Fi. The digital infrastructure is important. And in terms of the process, in terms of the decision, a lot of people now asking for the speed. Had to be fast. And they want the clarity. Why this, why that? And also they want to see transparency. What the process like? How the promotion be done? Why I couldn't get the promotion? They want to see all those. So these are something that is a challenge for any organization. But if you want to become a good organization, you have to take care of it. And finally is that you want to get, if for the management to run the organization well, the people in the organization must have the right skill sets. So you cannot have someone doing this job, but the skill set is not there. You can have a mathematics degree holder to teach English. Itu susah tu. If you ask the mathematics lecturer to teach English, and especially when it comes to problem of some mathematical problem, 5 durians given to 3 durians. So how you put into a mathematical question? You put 5 minus 3. And you ask these people, tak pandai bahasa Inggeris, dia kata 5 push 3. It's not 5 minus 3. So it's something that doesn't have the right skill set. So this for me that if you have a good organization, the organization infrastructure, the people must have the right skill set in order to perform their duty of the organization. So I mentioned about people because I strongly believe that the most important asset in an organization is people. Tak ada yang lain. You can have a world-class infrastructure, but you don't have the right people, it's not going to work. So for any organization, for those doing the management, please take care of the people, because people are asset in your organization. And for pejabat pendaftar, for those dealing with HR, make sure that you hiring right. You hire the right people. Because once you get the hiring, the right people to be in that position, then you come up with the right skill set, then you're going to get a lot of benefit from that person. So the hiring, the first window, hiring people, do it right. Because if you don't do right, it costs money to you. If you hire someone that's not right in your organization, you got to train and train, that costs money to you. Number 2 is that once you hire, you should be able to develop these people and then retain them. If you develop, you spend money on training, suddenly they disappear, rugi juga. So you must develop and try to retain them. For the future, any organization now, they talk about multitasking. This has been done in private sector, but in public sector, I think we need to do this as well. Because a person should be to be able to handle about 2 or 3 jobs. Should be good enough to handle other things. If you're in the private sector, marketing is something that everybody should do. Even the Vice Chancellor must do the marketing. Even the deans must do the marketing. So everybody must do marketing, because marketing is their part and parcel of their business. Because their revenue depends on student numbers. If they don't market well, they don't get the students. And if they get the students, they get the money. And if they get the money, they cannot pay the salary. And the business gone. So that's very important. Networking is something I feel that we need to strengthen. Because networking is not something that 2 plus 2 equal to 4. Networking requires certain skill and kind of training in order for you to network with people. When I was in England during my study days, student days, I watched so many characters, Irish and the English. I thought they are the same. They are not. Not gaduh here. I look at the Arabs when they play football, not bertumbuk hari-hari. But after that, they cium pipi. African, the way they walk, you tahu cara dia, tak menakutkan. Tapi they are nice people. Jadi benda macam ni, if you want to network with people, you must understand the behavior of the people. Benda macam ni lah yang kita rasa kita ni masih, oleh kerana kita punya international exposure is not there. Only limited people has to get our international exposure. But this one need to be enhanced, especially at our public university. And global mindset, this is also another new requirement now. Besides the staff, we also like to see the students must have that sort of mindset. We're not talking about the jago kampung anymore. We are talking about the global player. We want our students not to be placed only in KL or in Johor Bahru, but we want also to see our students be placed in Dubai, in Singapore, in Jakarta. There's a kind of global kind of mindset, global mobility. So it's something the new requirement. A lot of industries now, when they interview the students, sometimes they ask for this sort of skill set. Whether you have been exposed to the global mobility, whether you have experienced kind of global exposure. So great leadership, I don't know who's a great leadership, but just I pick up from somewhere. Besides the ability to administration, tip-top, financial tip-top, but to be the great leadership, there must be some element of soft skill with this leader. If you are very efficient leader, very good at it, but you start throwing fire to your staff, start doing things, I don't think you're a great leader. A lot of staff will hate you, but they never tell you. They will tell behind you. So there are soft skill elements that we must have. Even not great leader, a leader must have. They mean, of course, the right attitude. I mentioned again about communication skill, about creativity, and a great leader should delegate. Kerana delegation is part of training. If you're looking at the 2-3 people to be able to be the next, can be moved to the next level, you have to start delegation from now. So don't worry. If you delegate your junior to go, don't worry. Sometimes you can make mistakes. People make mistakes. But the training itself is very important. And also honesty is very important, so that you are looking after a big asset, especially in university. This campus alone, billions of assets. A lot of tenders coming in. A lot of people want to talk to you. They look at the student numbers, huge. Wow, ini lombok emas for your item. Everyone to say, hello, Vice Chancellor, minum teh, minum coffee, because you know that there's an opportunity. But you have to be honest. There's a very important value in you that will protect you from any other things. So in terms of leaders, great leaders, we need to think now about the transformational leaders. Leaders that transform something. So this is an example that, between the great leaders and the bad leaders. So great leaders, they can see potential in people. Delegation, they can see potential. If I delegate, he might become good leader kemudian. But bad leaders, basically, they always find faults. Ini buat tak betul, ini tak betul, ini tak betul. That's always, you can see the difference when you approach the problems. In terms of structure and systems, the word of operational excellence is something that for the public sector, they are not very familiar or very ganggu. But in the private sector, when it comes to the operational excellence, when it comes to the business continuity, itu very important to them. So operational excellence means that you want to make sure that your assets is efficiently utilized. Your manpower must be optimized. The speed, I mentioned about the speed. Some people, they ask for today, they want things yesterday. And also efficiency. That means speed without efficiency also not good. There must be speed plus efficiency. And also when you talk about the operational excellence, you also must have something in the back of your mind. That means you're going to reduce the cost. If you can reduce the process instead of 4 days jadi 2 hari, that means you reduce the cost. If you utilize the asset and so on, instead of spending 1 million on electricity power, you can reduce to 600,000, reduce the cost. So all this, they call it operational excellence, and basically for growth of the organization and also for the sustainability of the organization. Something in the university, something in a public organization is that we do not measure things properly. Number one is our KPI is not well defined. Our KPI do not link with the measurements, and also the tracking of the KPI is not well done. So it is something that for a public university, because I have some experience in private, the way they do, they really measure things and they reward things. So if you can measure and with the right KPIs, with the right assessment, then I think it's going to be beneficial to your organization. So a lot of assessment being done by people mostly based on the perception. Based on perception. That means that if you have 12 months assessment, the first 9 months tu, you buatlah elok-elok, the last 3 months dia akan measure. Which is not right. You got to measure KPI 1 is that bring 10,000 students. So I don't care how you do it, at the end of the year I want to see whether you bring 10,000 students or not. If you don't, that means you are not meeting your KPI. So this is something that you got to measure with some objectivity rather than on the perception. This is something that I strongly support this. Even at this university, Pendaftar and her colleagues are working very hard on the succession planning, because my experience in ministry, whenever a vice chancellor has or they aspire dia punya last man, either retire ke ataupun kontrak dia habis, always a problem finding the successor. Jadilah mangku 6 bulan, pemangku acting lah ni. Sampai 6-7 bulan acting. Pasal we don't have the right successor. Sebab itulah the succession planning is very important. And now with the government intention to empower the university, to give autonomy to university, I think we have to do it properly now. Because I think now in terms of promotion, in terms of getting new leaders now, we basically be under the university's kind of jurisdiction. So for succession planning, we had to identify key position and competencies. Kita panggil JD, job description ataupun apa. Maksudnya you identify key position. Where are they? Not all the positions are key position. You got to find the key position. In the university, of course, the vice chancellor, deputy vice chancellor, registrar, bandahari, all these key position. So you got to identify the key position and you start looking for the successor. And to be able to fill out that position, you must be able to, describe the competency required. What they require to be VCs. For the private sector, one of the requirement for you to get the license, your vice chancellor must have a PhD. Sebab tu ramai private sector now dia cari IPT mana ada PhD, nanti sebagai vice chancellor. But the man that shoot behind the show is still the CEO, the one that having the money. And we need to prepare that level of skill set. If the skill set here, and we think that he can go up here, we need to train in terms of giving the right skill set for the staff. And make sure that talents are ready. When you have this kind of planning, development, we want them to be ready. And again, if you have a good succession planning, they always come up with a smooth transition. So tak adalah surat-surat layang ya. We hold surat-surat layang ni. Saya di kementerian dulu penat tengok surat layang. Bila seorang nak habisnya, ni surat layang habis. Surat layang cerita yang pelik-pelik lah. Macam-macam cerita. So saya ingat kalau saya buat thesis, boleh dapat master tu. Just compiling the surat layang. So we don't want to do that anymore. I think it's not very wise organization, a good organization. So it must be a very smooth transition. So so if you have to have a smooth transition, you must plan for it, train, so that you don't have any problem in who's next. And for this, it's very important for retaining strategy. Retaining strategy means you want to retain people. Actually, when you lose people, it costs money. But we never calculate. When you lose somebody, to hire the new one, advertising costs, interview costs. Interview ni we have to get our time to go for interview. Interview ni kadang-kadang letih juga. And we need to ignore some of the important things to do in the office because of the interview. That costs. Jadi, sometimes we do calculate that. If you look from that cost perspective, yes. You lose people to get the new people, it costs to you. In private sector, it's only about 30,000 just to hire someone. The process is about 30,000. So the thing work. So if you've held this, in order to, and the thing work. In your item, I always mention this. It's just like momentum. Momentum is the size, mass, and the velocity. So it seems that publicity about strategies and all those support system, but the mess, if the mess is there and the publicity, the strategy is there, I think we can move very fast. So that's the importance of teamwork. So you can have 18,000 staff, but if the 18,000 staff, some of them support United, some of them support Manchester City, some of them support Chelsea, it's not going to work. You're divided. But if everybody support your item FC, safe. We are united. So this is something that we have to bring people together in order to have a kind of maximum teamwork. And if you have a good teamwork in an organization, you can do things always ahead of others. And then to have this good environment, good infrastructure, actually we want to make people happy. Because if you have the staff, if you can make them happy, that brings success to you. Because if the staff are not happy, there are a lot of problems. The jobs is not well done. The tensions everywhere. Blood pressure naik. That ramai minta MC. So a lot of things if the staff are not happy. So I think if the staff are happy with the right system, the right governance, right skill set, the right environment, I think you get a lot of success. If you got the staff happy. That's why your item we come up with we created your item happiness index. And then basically to create an environment for your item staff to be happy. So we started it 2 years ago. We tried to find the issues why and how to make the staff happy. I think for me, the easiest way to get them money is happy lah. Naik gaji, naik pangkat, semua happy lah. That's not the solution. We have to find other solution if you want to make your staff happy. So we developed this UiTM happiness index. Ini commercial break sikit ya, commercial break sikit. To tell you about the UiTM happiness index. Then maybe the instrument was developed using Kansai general approach by a few of our staff, and then we gathered the staff, find the problems and so on, and create the parameters, and then we create an instrument, we call it PERMI model, and then we develop measurement, and we get this survey done to our staff, and then we come up with the 3 main things that why the staff here are not happy. Number one is infrastructure, because your item dia dah 62 tahun. You can see imagine the buildings, you know. So that's the first thing that we need to tackle. We tackle this year by giving extra money for them to repair this, repair that, you know, so that we tackle the first one. Second one is about the system process. We try to tackle that, try to speed up so many things. The interview, we have a sumber manusia meeting every month. Sometimes cannot do it during the day, we do it during the night. Because the people say that this is something that they make them not happy. Proses lambat dan sebagainya. So we try to improve that. And the third one is about the assessment yang saya sebut tadi. The measurement you measure is something we try to make it better. The training of people, how to assess people. We've done it in our training center. So it's very important. So that we want the staff to be happy, to contribute, and to bring more success to the organization. There are a few issues and challenges. Number one is that it's always tough to find the right talents. It's very difficult to find the right talents for your organization. Either you have to pay more, or you're going to keep him for 6 months and disappear. Other people will curi your talents. And the other issues that we have is the in terms of leadership development. Because sometimes I think I hope this will be over lah. Most of the cases we groom people to become leaders, and then suddenly somebody else jadi. You train people to become VC, then orang lain datang. Sometimes yang selalunya tak begitu betul. So I think hopefully that we must have proper leadership development in our organization. Usually being run by registry office or academic office. This is important. And another thing is that changing the mindset and culture ni, if a very old university, if new university is easy, you just bring in the new culture straight away. But if the university is 60 years old, sometimes the culture to move from one generation to another generation, to change the culture is not easy. We started doing MOOCs, we started e-learning, we started to introduce class without walls. It doesn't mean that kena study di Padang, yeah? Class without walls, you don't have to come to class, but you can still go on learning through the platform, e-learning platform we have. We try to do this, but for the young people, it's easy. They can be transformed, their mindset change easily. But for the slightly senior generation like myself, it could be quite tough to change the mindset. So these are one of the issues and challenges in our organization, is that to change the mindset and to change the culture of those people who already being trained, work under different mindset and such. And also, if talking about the excellent teamwork, strong teamwork, sometimes the system does not allow it. Sometimes the system can be very punitive for teamwork. Kalau SKT, all these things, you don't want to work with others because you don't want to share the points with others. So dulu during my times, menegak melintang. I'm not sure now it's not menegak melintang. So everybody want melintang. So they don't want to be melintang. They want to melintang. So in order to be melintang, there's only a certain percentage. So in order to be melintang, I'm not going to share with you because you're going to get credit, you're going to my competitor. So the system itself does not encourage teamwork. So we have to find somewhere how the system can encourage teamwork and also the benefit of teamwork. For researchers, it's simple. A lot of things now because of the multidisciplinary research, multidisciplinary collaboration. If you are a physicist now, you need to work with somebody else. Talking about the IR 4.0, talking about big data, talking about cybersecurity, talking about blockchain, talking about artificial intelligence, all these are multidisciplinary. You need mathematics, you need physics, you need engineers, you need computer scientists before you can embark on these projects. So that requires teamwork from various disciplines. And we at the university also have, at UiTM we say that if you have a kind of multidisciplinary research proposal, it's easier for you to get grant. So because we like to see that people from various disciplines sit down, work together to handle this kind of research. We are pushing very hard for the SDG, Sustainable Development Goals. We really want to support SDG research, and most of the SDG research are multidisciplinary. So in the way forward, to create good leaders, to identify good talents, we must have a better succession planning framework. If you don't have this succession planning framework, it's not going to work. Every time you got to import players because you don't have the proper mechanism to enhance your skill set. So every time you need a very key position, import. Key position, import. So that will cost money, and also you do not help your own internal people. And we need to create a lot of role models. When you say great leaders, it's not only the administration. In university, researchers also must be great leaders. Because for you to encourage or to influence the young ones to do research, you must have a good research leader to influence to the young ones. So there must be good role models for you to be seen as a good leader. And multidisciplinary, this will talk about teamwork. In teaching and research, there must be multidisciplinary. And also now is that time for you to do multitasking. We just cannot say because I kerja saya sini aja, I tak perlu fikir pasal benda lain. If you want to optimize the manpower, if you try to reduce costs, you got to be multitasking. So it sounds like corporate talk, because it's for Dato Rashid, this is something that he has, something that the staff in Produa must do, multitasking and also. So this is very important. So conclusion, for the talents, for the people, we need to hire. After we hire, we need to develop. and then hopefully we can retain them. And then in terms of global mindset, global exposure, the future leaders must have a global mindset. You cannot become a good leader now if you don't have a global view and also global networking or global mindset, because we are talking about global mobility now. And now it's a new requirement for you to become the leaders in the university, that you must know the financial management. Because every time now you must see the profit and loss, P&L, you must study about the budget, you must know where the bleeding in your subsidiary, all this you must know, because you cannot, because at the end of the day, you are accountable. You cannot say, oh ini main badahari lah ni, tak cakap saya macam mana. No, you cannot say that. You go to mana-mana kata, you are responsible for this. So they got to know this financial management. And communication skill, I mentioned about the important communication skill, and the value, respect and care, and of course, especially the P, always humility is very important. Where you are, we are peoples. So we have to understand this, and humility will carry you a long way. So with that, thank you so much, and possibly I need to stand here or be there for Q&A? Be there, okay, thank you.